Hello, my name is Jesse Ingram, and I am in Learning Frameworks class at North Central Texas College. Today we're doing a journal entry kind of describing what we've learned in class. To begin, I'm a returning student. I just came back, this is my second semester back, and the way this was billed was a required course that teaches you how to be a student. For me, that doesn't seem like something that would benefit me all that much. However, from day one, Professor Pettis has taught lessons that impact my life and that I can use. I was pleasantly surprised with the class. The first thing that she talked about was creating a motto for motivation. For me, that was know when enough is enough and be enough. Knowing when enough is enough means a lot of things when you break it down, because knowing when enough is enough has to do with boundaries, setting boundaries for yourself and for others to make them know that you need to be respected and so that you have self-respect. The second part of that was be enough. For me, I tend to be a perfectionist. And when things aren't exactly right, I don't feel like I've done a good job. So by knowing when enough is enough, knowing what I need to do, and doing that, and not worrying about the details or nitpicking, I can be very successful. And I feel like this was a very impactful lesson. The other thing she had us do was take the Briggs-Myers personality test. On this, I came up as an INTP. So what that means is the I stands for introverted versus extroverted. This has to do with how we interact with others and kind of who we are as people. I tend to be an introvert. I always tell people I'm actually an 80 positive person. I'm very introverted, but I also have an extroverted side. And I try to stay positive about life. This just kind of confirmed that to me. The introverted versus extroverted. I'm intuitive versus sensing. I'm a thinker versus someone who feels. And I perceive rather than judge. What that really breaks down to, and it makes a lot of sense now that I've read and learned about it, I'm very logical. I'm a very private person. I tend to play before I pay, and I'm not too worried about details and structure, more about the overall product and whether I can be proud of it. Some of the other things that we did in the class, we also took a quiz about what our dominant intelligence was. My dominant intelligence came out as a verbal linguistic or word smart person. I scored 14 out of 15 in that. And they say that you have one primary dominant intelligence. However, I also had two that were literally 13 out of 15, 1 point behind. And those were interpersonal, or being people smart, and intrapersonal, which is being self-smart. I believe that learning that about myself has kind of opened my eyes to the fact that I am very good at learning from others and listening to others. And yet at the same time, because I'm an introvert, I am a self-smart person. Whenever I do find something that I'm passionate about and want to look into, I do go research more and try to learn more. It fit me to a T. The other thing we had talked about was our primary learning style. For me, that is an auditory learning style. I'm ear smart. So, it makes a lot of sense whenever I look back on my college career and high school. I've always been good at sitting in class and attending and learning what the teacher's talking about. Knowing this, whenever I go into the workforce, I know that a lot of what I need to do is be there. Mentally and physically, obviously, but mostly mentally, learning what they want to teach me, I can be very successful with that. And the last thing, and one of the other things that I feel to be very important that Professor Pettis taught us, was budgeting to zero. With that, essentially you take how much you make in a month or in a week or whatever, and budget yourself down to zero. Use every single penny, including with savings, because whenever you do that, you don't leave room for extraneous purchases, gum, stuff like that. And it's really helped my finances and will help my finances in the future. So that's just kind of a preview of a few things that I've learned from the class of learning frameworks at North Central Texas College. I highly recommend taking this class, and especially with Professor Pettis. She is amazing. Thank you once again for listening, and I hope you have a great day.